Hey everybody, my name is Old School Nerd. Today is Monday, so that means that it must be Napalm A to Z.
It's time for reaction. Welcome in. Old School Nerd.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Old School Nerd. Check us out on OldSkuleNerd.com. It's got all of our social media posts, the Patreon link for those who want to help support the channel, and the merchandise store. Okay, today on Napalm A to Z, AMBERIAN Dawn. Now, I was I was told that when you get to the end of the A's, or whenever you get to AMBERIAN Dawn, just understand they're the kind of musical experience that is pretty common on your channel. And I was like, what do you mean? They were like, well, you like Nightwish. Like, yeah. You like Epica. Yeah. So you like bands that are not only metal, but they're also ethereal and they tell stories and fantasy storytelling experiences. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, AMBERIAN Dawn. And I went, okay. Well, I asked my Patreon, I was like, okay, which AMBERIAN Dawn song should I do? And when I tell you, I usually put these polls in my Patreon, and it's usually like 30% say this, and 40% say this, and 10% say this. And then, of course, the 30% wins. When I tell you it was overwhelmingly like 70+% said Magic Forest, I went, okay. All right. So it's almost like someone saying, hey, which Leo song should I do first? And everyone's like, do Hello first. Yeah, I know, because it's the biggest video he's ever done. But for whatever reason, my Patreon says we're going to do Magic Forest. And I was like, okay, here we go. So Napalm A to Z, this is AMBERIAN Dawn. I've never heard them before. The song is Magic Forest. Come along with me. That's different. Normally you get the napalm with the big fire and the death dismemberment and there's little baby body parts flying. Well, no, maybe not that. But, you know, this is different. It's more of a kind of like a Labyrinth, David Bowie kind of feel to it, which is good. Just saying. When they first started and you heard that xylophone coming up, and I went, what the preschool shit is going on? But when the strings kicked in, I was like, oh, okay, thank you. I was having some Wiggles flashbacks. As a dad of 3 girls, oh, that would have been a bridge too far. That would have been the end of my napalm career because I would have shit all over this. But strings came in, everything is fine. We're fine here. We're all fine now. We're fine. How are you? Why is AMBERIAN Dawn's version of Tomas from Nightwish look like Bill Murray in a top hat? It took me exactly a half a second to see that. You didn't see it? You will. seriously, this Bill Murray looking mother hugger right here. At first I thought, okay, so they're remaking Westworld, the movie, and in the medieval area, Bill Murray goes there and he becomes like an evil assassin. That was a long way for an analogy, but people who know my channel know it's kind of my thing. The vocalist of this band is great. Kind of reminds me of Epica, maybe some early Nightwish. But I mean, I think the big difference for this one is there's a lot of mystical piano or that little xylophone style. Instead of synths or string arrangements programmed into the keyboard, it's got a little bit more playfulness to it, a little bit more childish, innocent sounds in there, intermixed with the metal. And I think that's a reflection of the innocence of the children in the story, which is totally fine. Totally get it. If they didn't have the video that reflected the fact of the children's innocence being destroyed by their father being killed, this song would be hard to relate to for me because of the childlike sounds in that xylophone sounding keyboard. But in the context to tell the story, it just shows that innocence for the children, which is a good thing. Let's continue. The Lady of the Lake is going to give him a bazooka or maybe a heavy machine gun. That'll teach Bill Murray a lesson. Okay, I was a little off. We went with a dagger. You gotta appreciate this Lady of the Lake, really. I mean, safety first. She sent the dagger toward them pommel first. I appreciate that. I do like how the oldest kid looks at her like, she's like, that's it? It's all you're giving us. That dude's got a 3-foot sword. And he's coming at us like he's the Hound from Game of Thrones. And she's like, this pocket knife is all you're giving us? Not even a crossbow? Anything? And the little one's like, we gotta go. See? Bill Murray in a top hat is the keyboardist of this band. Cinderella story. US Open, come out of nowhere to lead. 18th hole. In a swing. It's in the hole! Yeah, it's Bill Murray in a top hat, bro. See, now that I've done this, 2 things. Number 1, Napalm is going to block me forever for doing that because it's not cool. But at the same time, all of my community in my channel are like, dude, that's some funny shit. And let's be honest. It's half the reason why you're here. Great music and the idiot with the beard. Gotta be real, right? Yeah. Okay, maybe she's not that innocent. She was slick enough to slide the dagger up underneath her sleeve like she's done that before. See, some people say you shouldn't let young girls watch Game of Thrones, but it'll teach them how to keep themselves from being stabbed by people like this.
Oh, dear children, who has brought you here?
All right, I might be wrong. I think I'm wrong. Okay, when he's wearing the top hat and he's playing the keyboards, he looks like Bill Murray, right? But whenever he's with the cape, you know, the fur cape and the sword and the torch and the scar, he kind of looks like the actor who plays the Oompa Loompas in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Not Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, you know, with Gene Wilder, the good one. No, the remake with Johnny Depp, the actor that plays all the Oompa Loompas. He was also the stunt double for Frodo in Lord of the Rings. Yeah, that guy, that actor, yeah, that's who he looks like. So either it's Bill Murray in a top hat or the actor who plays all the Oompa Loompas in the shitty remake of Willy Wonka. Take a pick. I call him like I see him. I'm kidding. But the song is good. It's a fantastical story. It's a great tale. Fantasy storytelling. That's what you expect from AMBERIAN Dawn. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they do other stories. And do they do darker stuff? This is pretty light. It's pretty light. Run for your life, you know. It's very light. Even though it's a dark tale, it's done in a kind of a light and fantastical storytelling way for a bedtime story for a child. Being 46 years old, it's harder for me to not make fun of it. However, I do recognize the storytelling, the musical aspect, and the overall production. It's good stuff. But it's been a really weird weekend for me, so I'm kind of in a strange mood. So maybe watching this wasn't a good idea after 3 cups of coffee and a lot of pent-up angst from this weekend, but there you go.
Do come in and stay with me. No harm shall happen to you. She's getting closer. Do you hear her breathing? Her arm is watching. Hear her seeking, reaching you, hunting you. She's getting closer. Do you hear her breathing? Her arm is watching. Hear her seeking, reaching you, hunting all of you.
That was interesting. Oh, look at outro. Storytelling outro. I like that. And they're still running through the dark woods. All right. Okay, so not all their stuff is like that. Okay, so if some of you are like, hey, the AMBERIAN Dong song you just watched was a little childish and not really some of their harder stuff, I get that, but my Patreon channel chose it. Maybe because my Patreon channel chose it because they knew that I would make fun of the keyboardist because you know, when it comes to pop culture and movies and stuff, I pick up on all that kind of stuff, and I'm an idiot. But I'm definitely going to check out more of their stuff because the 2 little tags they had at the very end of the video, those 2 songs, a little bit more meat to them. I like that. Okay, the band itself sounds great. And I did mention before that a little bit more of the childish tones in the keyboards were reflective of the girl's innocence in the storytelling. So it's totally cool to do so. The lead singer, she's got legit vocal chops and great sound. A tribute to that genre of that storytelling, fantasy symphonic metal that we all love, from Epica and Nightwish and AMBERIAN Dawn. So, my name is OldSkuleNerd. This is Napalm A to Z. This is the second to last band that starts with an A in our list. After this, there's only one more. Don't worry. You're not going to get with an anchor or sent to Mexico, or maybe we'll just do a drinking song.